All right, everyone, welcome back for the episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Wednesday, May 8th, 2024. If you're not done so already, please give the video a thumbs up. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. Anyways, let's get into it today. So, not really much to get into, so I'm not excited here to do the video today. But in any case, we had a little gap down this morning, and we actually day traded this in the trading room. Ended up being the low of the day. I didn't necessarily think we were gonna go all the way to the gap fill, but we had a nice little bid there, and I said, okay, well, now we're gonna have some volatility. Finally, we got a gap down. We got a nice rally there. Maybe we can get a pullback. Maybe, and nothing. So very, very quiet again. That's really the third day in a row. I mean, if you look at really the fourth day, if you look at this candle, it tells you that we just kind of like went up all day when we kind of did, but with the exception of two like 10 to 15 minute periods, it was really just very quiet. 5-point range floating action. This day here, just a chop fest into the close. The only reason we had volatility here is because the non-farm payrolls in the morning, and I think we had ISM, but yeah, yesterday and today, same kind of deal. Market's asleep. So this is like August summer doldrum stuff. This is including after hours volume right now. SPY 41.4 million shares. It's 4:28. I'm doing the video a little late. Like when I say this is like holiday, like look at this. We had 55. We had more than that here at the last week of December. Right. This right here was probably Thanksgiving. We did 29 million. The day before that, we did 59. This is really light stuff. So a couple of things going on. A lot of calls being sold right now at 5,200. We talked about resistance yesterday, and it's right there. All right, we went up there and tagged it, and it's holding up. We also have QQQ right here, the red bar high, 442.15. So some calls getting sold here. That's pushing the market or stalling the market out. I didn't think we would be able to make new highs today. I talked about that in the short video, and that was the case right now. I think the path of least resistance is still down, like sideways to down. I'm not saying we're gonna straight down or anything like that, but sideways to down probably until at least the next couple of days. I just don't think we've done enough consolidation. Look at this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days before we broke down, including a high volume. Look at the SPY, high volume candle. So there's a lot of supply. And you can even make a case that we're looking at SPY now. You got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16. Yeah, so even more really on the SPY in that area. So just a lot of resistance overhead. Again, doesn't mean we're going to go down in a straight line or have a big volatility event, but I think the market has had a big run up 200 points here in 4 sessions. It needs to pull back and do some consolidating if it wants to go higher. That said, I was just telling members this, and I've been kind of talking about it a little bit here and there, like on Twitter. I would not be shocked to see a tape rate at any point here. Again, this market is so quiet and put sellers. So they're seeing a lot of calls sold up here, but not so much put sellers, vol sellers specifically. So we had the 10-year auction today. Had a tail, third tail in a row. It wasn't very good. That was the extent of the volatility. The second, I'm telling you guys, I'm watching this tape all day long. The second we get a not even 5-point decline in the futures, it's like immediately they're just selling. They're selling vol without it even bouncing. They're not even waiting for a bounce to sell into. So that's kind of having a pinning effect, the 5,200 ceiling, with volatility being sold underneath it, and that's kind of keeping us quiet here. At least that's kind of what I'm seeing right now. But that said, put sellers get too far off sides, which we've seen plenty of times in the past. Someone in the futures market might come in and say, "I'm just going to hit you with 1,000 contracts, and we're going to take a little tumble here." That doesn't mean that we have to follow through, but we call them a tape raid. 50 points, dealers get sliced, put sellers get sliced. It ends up recovering, but market, like last week I talked about this all week long. Event vol, right? Non-farm payrolls, FOMC, Apple, Amazon earnings, all the jobs data. So market was overhedged. That's why we were able to just shrug those bad, data releases off. Now there isn't any data. Market's not hedged. If anything comes out of left field, I don't think the market's prepared here in the short term. I still think dealer buyback effect going into options X will kind of take over and we'll see like a higher low. But just be aware of those kind of dynamics. I'm just talking about this stuff because there's not much else to say as far as how the market traded today. We did have some earnings after the bell. ARM down about 10 points now in the after hours, so pretty good slice. By the way, the semis were weak all day long, and if it wasn't for the light volume, I think this market would have ended up significantly lower. But ARM down here about 10 points. I think Trade Desk reporting, so that was down, now back up there, so that's bouncing nicely. I think we have Airbnb too, and that is getting hit here down about 10 points or so. I think AMC too, not that anybody really cares. Yeah, they're about flat. So some earnings here. By the way, earnings, not really good at all. If it wasn't for Apple's $10 billion trillion buyback, $110 billion buyback, I don't know how these reports are doing that well. I mean, Shopify down 20% today. Disney down big yesterday. We saw Meta fall, though it has had a nice recovery right into that 50% fib too. Netflix fell. It has had a nice recovery, but not the greatest earnings so far. Look at TripAdvisor. Now about 30, close to 30% today. So not a great earnings season here. But again, market's holding up here with the light volume, and I think that'll likely kind of continue into next week. But I still think the path of least resistance here in the short term is sideways to lower. After that, I think you could see a little bit more risk coming to the market. So that's the long and short of it. Again, 5,200, 442.15 on the Qs, big levels there. A lot of supply to chew through. I know we got back above this level, but that doesn't just get rid of all of the sellers that, selling that happened here too. So, but QQQ holding up like everything else. IWM was on the weaker side today. Bonds backed off a little bit. This is so rate sensitive right now. Bonds did get a little bit of a bid, have gotten a little bit of bid over the last couple of days. I talked about this morning with members, kind of into that 50 MA right there, that pivot low. I think we talked about this yesterday too on the ZB, and we did back off here. There is room for a higher low. Again, I'm open to the idea of bonds getting more of a sustained bounce. Another thing too that's kind of quietly happening is XLU is ripping higher. I don't talk about XLU often, or really that often, but it is surging right now. So big move here. Is that trying to tell us something? Maybe. XLP is also acting very well as well. Just to really quick, if you do it divided by SPY, you can see it upticking pretty nicely there. Just some things to consider. All right, so IWM down, Dow was up nicely today. A lot of Dow components were green. Actually gapped down and closed nicely green outside move. 392 and change is going to be your next level there for the diamond. Semis we talked about here. Finished up 67 cents. I did not like what I saw intraday. Again, if the volume was not on the lighter side, I think this would have led the market lower. We had a pretty substantial down day. We had a bear flag setting up here intraday, then the light volume just kind of took over as we got into the lunch hour. You got a little bid there, and then they took it right up. SOX was in danger of rolling over too. We got how close we got to the lows. But so I'm not really loving what I'm seeing from the semis. Lower highs there too. So just be careful with those right here. And obviously ARM probably not helping out after hours. IGV here. So that was basically flat. Flat to lower rather. Still inside of this channel. I don't like cloud. I don't like that pattern at all. Dow Transports, again, down 8 basis points. Nothing terrible there. This is still weak. It's still a laggard sector. I don't like it either. Yeah, could it consolidate and have a zigzag up? Sure, but it's lagging and it's not strong at all. All right, rates here, again, still pretty quiet day. Like I told you, we had an auction and you wouldn't have even known it. The 2-year is upticking a little bit though. So again, we held the green bar low, held the 5,200, and it's bouncing, right? 5-year bouncing. Could be starting a bear flag though inside of the green. So watch that. 30-year getting a little bit of a bid. If it comes down, it's going back to this trend line here. So rates have been pretty quiet. We do have a 30-year auction tomorrow. I don't know if that gives us fireworks. At this point, the 30-year could crash and the market would downtick 3 points, and then somebody would come in and sell a billion VIX calls, and it wouldn't matter. So, all right. I know I'm just being sarcastic. I'm tired of this market. I'm sour. So, all right. XHB here down 35 cents. Nothing terrible. Still could be looking at a bear flag there on the daily. You are above the 20 MA and kind of right on the 50. That's your positive. If you were below those, I would like the chart a lot less. But again, bounce there. I think that one might be poised for lower highs. VNQ, again, still on the weaker side. Again, like the transports, could it zigzag up again? It's possible, but I think this is kind of your max move in the short term. All right, financials were the powerhouse of the day here. So XLF only up 15 cents, but look at the price action. Down early and then up. Look at JPM today. This is ridiculous. So a 2% move is gigantic for JPM. Up move, kind of bullish consolidation above the moving averages and a big pop. There is resistance up here, right? This is where it's topped out and sold off. So this is probably where it's going to stall out, but big move there for JPM. KRE, red to green day. That's looking a lot better, and KBE is looking all right too. So KBE up 23 cents. Broker dealers are okay. They're still holding up. Oil, I told you guys I had the buy signal on that the last couple of days, and that is playing out very nicely. Massive seller exhaustion. And they were throwing every headline that they could at this. And when you're already overdone and you're making lower lows like that and being ground down on the 4-hour with a rising RSI, it's usually a sign that it's about done. Their sellers are just having less and less success. Then eventually they have to give up. If those headlines can't make much more than a nominal new low, you're likely going to have to go the other way. And beautiful reversal there. We're in the money nicely on our crude trade in the trading room with crude futures. So looking for first stop to be 80, and then I think this could maybe even get up to 81, 82. So we'll see what that does here. But good outside move there for crude. Gasoline futures also bottom nicely as well. A little tail candle there. Let me fix my... It's not adjusted? Huh. There it is. Okay. There's the gasoline futures. But right into the 50% fib. Nice area there. Good tail. All right. XLE, again, came off the lows today. I don't really love anything about this. I don't hate it. I think that energy stocks need to go lower, though. So I'll just say that much. I think, XOP around 142, XLE around 87, and then OIH maybe 290. We'll have to see how it gets in there. CCJ backing off today, still very good on the larger time frames. NJ backing off today, as did the NM. Back testing that pivot. We'll see if it breaks back below. It can put in a higher low. We talked about the third hit of the trend line usually being a fake out. Higher low there, can still break out. Nat gas finally pulling back here, but only down 2 cents. So it kind of sold off all day long, but it didn't really sell off. Actually, I checked that. It rallied this morning and then it sold off into the regular session. So really overall, nothing terrible. Yeah, if this flags, it can go higher. It's really that simple. See the M contract? Yeah, it's just consolidating above resistance there, or support now. All right, dollar index got a pretty good bounce today, up 13 basis points. It's still going to have a lot of headwinds right here. This has got a lot of work to do on the weekly chart, but if it can stay firm, it can go higher. And again, I told you at the end of the week, last week, if this just has a simple green week, it's going to look a lot better. Right now, weekly bullish inside bar above the moving averages. Keep it simple. Yen, what are you going to say? 50 MA, we knew it should have bounced there. It did. And we'll see if they come in. We'll see if they come in and do that again. That's going to be bearish treasuries. But we'll see. Anyway, 1, 2, 3 up. Might pause here, actually. All right. Gold, good rally in the morning and then faded all the way back in the afternoon. Starting to set up a bear flag here, inside bar. But you are above the MAs, though. So, this is just a pullback pattern here. Again, the levels have not changed. So still looking for those low 20s, 22s. Silver had a nice bounce the other day. Again, I still think this one could curl back down, but we'll see if it flags up here for a few more days. Maybe it wants to have it, you know, a zigzag. Silver in decent shape. By the way, still really like the miners on the weekly. It just needs to do more consolidation. Platinum down 240, nothing terrible. Inside hammer, good candle. Palladium backing off. That's still got to get through 1,000. And then copper here down 1.36. This is still probably in backing and filling mode. I'm going to give the probabilities in that favor. Again, Bitcoin kind of quiet here, but rolled over a little bit. So down below 62 again. And we'll see how this shakes out. I'm just going to get rid of this trend line. I don't think it's that good. We'll see. You know, this could be another lower high setup. If it does, I think 52 is a tradable level. Is this kind of leading the stock market up? Maybe. It's led the stock market before. It's kind of rolling over a little bit. The market hasn't rolled over yet. We'll see. Weekly time frame still fine. All right. So again, yeah, 5,200. We'll see. That should remain a bit of a wall here. So I don't really see us getting much past that right now without at least a few more days of consolidation or things of that nature. But markets are holding up okay. It's really quiet. Again, just be careful for a tape raid. I've seen this kind of thing happen before in a really light tape. When you're in like a 10-point range for too long, sometimes they'll come in and whack that thing down. Support right now, 5150 in the short term. It's not a huge level, but I'm sure it's a good point of control. Today there's some at 5170, which we'd held all right, 60 and then 50. Through that, the bigger level, if we had a bigger pullback, is right around 5120 to 25. That's going to be the highs from a week or two ago that we broke out of. So those levels to watch. In the near term, outside of that, don't get too bored. Maybe step outside if you can, and enjoy some downtime or time away from the screen here as the market's really quiet. Anyways, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. You guys take care. Come find me at carnivoretrades.com. I will see you guys all tomorrow.